And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, Gungans, droids, all you fancy-looking Caddy coneheads out there, to today's video where, let's just say, if there was an Executor diss track, it would be this guy right behind me. We have the Punishing One kid reveal, and let me tell you something. You know who the Executor's calling out? They're calling out Thrawn. They're calling out Kenobi. They're calling out Radisson and his profundity. They're calling out the First Order. They have had enough with all the beatings the Executor's been getting. Oh my gosh. This thing is shaping up to be incredibly insane. At least it seems like on paper. But you know it's not insane? Our sponsor today! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Gary's Mom's Basement Dungeon, where we're going to be talking about our sponsor today, which is Raid Shadow Legends. But it's also kind of a self-sponsor, too, in case you guys did not know. I have a second channel where I've been playing a lot of Raid Shadow Legends. There'll be a link down below if you want to come hang out with me playing Raid Shadow Legends. I've been having a ton of fun. Kaplow! All right. Kaplow! Whale or fail on the wall. Bless the drops for them all. I'm going to get like 10 legendaries. Watch, right here. Right here. All right, come on. All right.
What do you got? What do you got? What do you got?
Power of many, the power of two, the power of one. Isn't it funny that spell gave me some trash drop? Here we go. All right, come on, give me another legendary. I want to seal the deal on this.
Oh!
I know they're epic. And make sure you scan that QR code or use my link down below. You will get amazing new player rewards to get you going. And be sure to click on that chest right up there to get all of your amazing free rewards. I hope to see you in Raid Shadow Legends. All right, folks, enough goofing around. We got to get into this kit reveal that we have for the Punishing One. In case you don't know what the Punishing One is, this is Dengar's ship. This has been long speculated ever since the Executor started becoming a thing way back in the day, 2021. We were hoping the Punishing One would come out. Well, they saved it for a special occasion, which is gonna be today. Let's get going. As they say, they gave us fair warning. Beware, beware. Yeah, on paper, this thing is looking to be an absolute menace. A dark side attacker, bounty hunter, scoundrel. Obviously, it looks like the main forte is gonna be this with the Executor. I'm not sure if this is going to work in any other type of lineups. I mean, maybe, but this is, again, primarily focused on lifting the Executor's power up. And as you see here, here's just a quick highlight that they're giving us. Number one, out-of-turn attacks make Punishing One deadlier as well as faster. It's going to be stealing stealth from the enemy to try to avoid combat. And the main kicker, it's got what's it called? Undispellable, irresistible death mark. And if you're going to be attacking out of turn quite a lot, you're going to be able to get this death mark out pretty easily. It almost feels like, in a way, in a very specific way, they're making this kind of like Darth Nihilus, where you can reduce the cooldown of this, and it's got like not quite an insta kill, but it's going to speed up the process quite a lot out there. Gary, check. Do we have? I don't even think we have death mark in the ship. I think this is the first death mark that we have. The quick scan. Gary, check. All right, Gary agrees with me. If I'm wrong, Gary's to blame. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first death mark that we have for ships. And we can skip all this here. What I want to talk about is, first off, how are you going to acquire this unit? Now, we've been speculating since this was announced, because it kind of follows the theme of the past several years, that this was going to be a galactic chase. And for those that are a little bit newer to the game, basically what that means is you would spend a certain energy, and the more energy you spend, the more shards or blueprints in this regard you would get of the particular ship. And people were hoarding up their fleet energy, even myself, thinking, okay, we got a galactic chase coming. However, that's not the case. On Thursday, this upcoming Thursday, on October 17th, it's going to be a marquee event. So, boy, it's been a minute since, I know in the early days of ships, we had, marquee events, but that was like way back when ships were first like ideated. But now we're going back to the marquee structure. Again, there's pros and cons. I mean, here's the thing. More galactic chases, I'm going tinfoil hat theory here really quick. I want to get to the kit reveal here. I'm guessing they probably made less money off of Galactic Chase because it was far cheaper to get it at when you did Galactic Chase. So it was good for us. People were easily able to get 5-6 stars right away for free, and then they just waited until the 7th one to finally get out there and get the last 7-star that they needed. So pretty interesting stuff that they're going back to the marquee model here. But anyways, let's keep moving along here. We have the actual kit reveal. Now that all is said and done, let's get to this basic ability. Deal physical damage to target enemy, and then deal an additional instant damage for each of the following. Wow, these are very common things you might find on a bounty hunter lineup here. You're gonna find, if you had enemy of breach, marked, target lock, those are all pretty core things to what the bounty hunters are offering. The biggest question is gonna be, what's gonna be your starting team? I'm gonna spoil it for you. I'm pretty sure Dengar is gonna be in the starting. So does that mean Executor Blood gets kicked out? Razor Crest gets kicked out? That'd be a little weird, right? Houndstooth gets kicked out? I mean, it's hard to say right now, but we gotta kind of find the best starting lineup now. I'm leaning towards Executor Blood might be getting kicked out. We'll have to wait and see which is better once we actually get in some actual gameplay. But the more of these debuffs you have, the more damage he's gonna be doing. And I'm assuming since he's an attacker, he's probably got some good damage underneath that arsenal. And then we have the disruptive combo cooldown of 3, my friends. Deal physical damage to all enemies and dispel all buffs on them. People, we don't really have a ton of like AoE buff dispel effects. Like, yeah, we have single buff dispel. Yeah, you got reinforcements that have it, but to have a constant ability that you're able to use outside of reinforcements to get a buff dispel, it's kind of a big deal. Target other bounty hunters, allies, and give them potency up for 1 turn, and they're called to assist. And then allied bounty hunter tanks taunt for 1 turn. Well, let's finish the sentence real quick. And light side enemies lose 50 speed for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. So there's gonna be several anti-call outs to the finalizer. But what's one of the biggest things for the finalizer counter? Well, basically controlling the Houndstooth, stunning them, ability block, and making it pretty much impossible for Houndstooth itself to get the taunt on. Well, if you have an ability to basically just trigger the taunt without boss even needing to be aware of what's going on in battle, that right there is kind of a big problem. If you're stuck behind Houndstooth, the battle is materially more difficult. There's going to be more anti-finalizer stuff as we go along, but let's keep moving along, folks. And then light sight enemies losing to 50 speed for 1 turn. That is a huge boost of speed. There's going to be some anti-profundity stuff that we're going to be seeing throughout this kit. And very more importantly, so when you're going up against, profundity, there's no turn manipulation. So what's important? Things that alter the speed effect. So speed up, for example. Or if you just lose 50 speed, and keep in mind with ships, there aren't really a lot of ways to get your speed up here. So, the highest speed we have right now is like the TIE Interceptor 220. But like, take for example, Plo Koon. If you can reduce the speed by 50, well, all of a sudden that's kind of a big problem. Now you're basically at the bottom when it comes to speed here. So losing 50 speed is no joke. That is a huge amount of speed loss that's occurring right there. And again, can't be evaded or resisted. Absolutely nuts. We're not done yet. I talked about a death mark. Well, here's your death mark, folks. Wanted, dead, cooldown of 9. It's going to be starting on a cooldown, but you're going to see, you'll probably get this to be a lot quicker than 9 turns. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict the target enemy with death mark, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted for 2 turns. 2 turns. That's a long time to be taking advantage of a death mark. So you shouldn't be worrying about, if the death mark's going to get cleansed, the enemy's going to take a turn really quickly, and it's going to go away. It's irresistible, undispellable, and it's there for 2 turns, and it's just locked in place. Pretty insane. And then you're going to inflict all enemies with breach, which can't be resisted. Punish one recovers 100% health. This is going to be able to really speed up the Executor process in terms of getting to that ultimate. Wow, it's just... this thing just looks nuts in all categories when you're looking in the context of the bounty hunter ship. My gosh. Starting off at the cooldown, so it's going to be at 9, but check this out. We have the Jumpmaster 5000, i.e. the model of the ship here. And let's just say we're not done yet. Let's keep reading along here. At the start of the battle or when reinforced, Punisher 1 gains 3 speed per bounty hunter ally and 6 speed per light side enemy, which is also going to include capital ships. So at the very start of the battle, there are 4 light side ships on Profundity, for example. 3 times 4, that's going to be, we have 6 times 4. 6 times 4 being 24, plus an additional 3 per bounty hunter ally. And if this works like Vader's unique ability, it should probably count himself as well. So that's 9 speed. So what is that? 24 plus 9. Yeah, you could do the math. That's a big boost of speed. Again, in the context of ships where you don't really have mods to alter things, that's huge. And you can't really prevent speed gains. Then whenever punishing one is called to assist by a bounty hunter ally, if they had buff immunity, we're going to talk about some buff immunity stuff here in a moment, or mark, so Razor Crest is going to be important, you're going to be able to stun the enemy for 1 turn, which again, can't be resisted. I can't emphasize enough how important this is, because you know how it is. Yeah, so many debuffs, you know, they don't land. All right, it gets a little annoying, but hey, if you're able to land these debuffs without having to worry about them, especially things like stun, death mark, that's no joke. And then whenever an enemy attacks on a turn, this is the important part. Whenever an enemy attacks on a turn, reduce the cooldown of Wanted Dead by 1, tripled if it's a light side enemy. What fleet likes to attack on a turn a bajillion times? Yes! Millennium Falcon lineups, or even Negotiator lineups call everyone to assist. You know, Profundity has a ton of assists. Oh my gosh, this is no joke, people. This is absolutely no joke. And it doesn't say, let me double check here. It doesn't even say once per turn. So if you get like, let's say 3 ships to assist, that right there is, well, an instant cooldown reduction on the punishing one. Able to get death mark immediately. That's nuts. That's insane. So you could probably get, I don't want to say turn 1 death mark, but in certain scenarios, at pretty close to turn 1 death mark, it would seem like, if I'm reading this correctly. Then whenever an enemy attacks punishing one out of turn, it recovers 10% health and protection. And at the start of the battle, a punishing one is deployed and all allies are bounty hunters. This is why I believe punishing one's gonna be in the starting lineup. Because you want all this. Enemy Imperial TIE Fighter ships lose 200% critical chance and evasion for the rest of the encounter. So yeah, screw you, Chimera. That's number 1. So this also counts the TIE Defender, not just the TIE Fighters. So yeah, that's a big problem, because that's another counter. If you rely on just a bunch of dodges on TIE Interceptor, boom, Thrawn wins. Well, not anymore. If you have 200% reduction on evasion, that's a problem. If the TIE Defender can't critically hit, it can't get resilient defense, so it's not going to be taunting. So it just completely screwed over TIE Defender. And then the Ally Empire capital ship gains 5 speed. Now this seems minute, but it really isn't. Check this out. Very importantly, so we have the speeds pulled up here. Check this out here. I have the Executor highlighted here. What is it tied with in terms of speed? It's tied to Profundity. So this basically means turn 1 inside of in the Grand Arena, just for having Dengar out there to jump master 5,000, you are going to have Executor go before Profundity, at least from a base speed level. So that right there, and again, in a game mode where there's really not a lot of speed alterations and there's no mods, that is going to be a drastically changing the order of operations. Executor getting more turns than Profundity, that could be a problem for Profundity. Then allied bounty hunter attacks gain 100% bonus protection for 1 turn. Wow. Now, so you're looking at, for example, Dengar. You're looking at, for example, Razor Crest, Xanadu Blood, IG-2000. Most of the bounty hunter ships, I believe they are attackers out there. Unless Xanadu Blood's a support character. It always blows my mind. Some of these tags are like Dash Rendar. He's not a support character. He's an attacker. Cad Bane's another one of those. Anyways, I'm digressing here. Then punishing one dispels all debuffs on itself and ignores taunt on its first turn. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, just starting off, it's basically kind of like a Razor Crest. So basically the way here's the way I'm envisioning this, folks. Just imagine with me. Get your tactic scanners out. Let's go ahead, get the crystal ball, see what the future's looking like here. The way I'm looking at this is, all right, the enemy team, they're going to do their opening bombardment, a lot of sword attacks. All right, turn 1, Dengar is going to cleanse all the debuffs, ignore taunt, and likely, because of this unique ability, have death mark ready to go. You could probably get close again to that turn 1 death mark. I don't know, death mark whoever you want. I don't know if you want to death mark Anakin, go for it. Maybe you could death mark Millennium Falcon. I don't know. Point being is, this is going to be an incredibly powerful opening play right here. Again, I think this is going to make so many battles so much easier for Executor in offense, and it's also going to make it a lot more difficult on defense. But again, we're not done yet. At the start of the enemy capital ship's turn, all enemies lose 100% critical damage until the end of the turn. What is that? I mean, that's going to apply to a lot of capital ships, but for me, that's another big FU to the finalizer that relies on critical damage to do big bursts to try to blow through, for example, the Houndstooth. They're just nuking out all these other people. They rely on critical hits. They rely on advantage. Get screwed. That's basically what they're saying. And then whenever an enemy gains stealth, you're just going to dispel it. And so, Profundities, they have stealth. We have, for example, Negotiator, Anakin having stealth, or, unending loyalty. When it goes away, they get stealth. Oh my gosh. It's like I expected this to be good. I was not expecting this to be as good as as it's reading right now, which is nuts. And then, which can't resist. And then punishing one is going to stealth for 1 turn. I guess this is sort of thematic to the character, because Dengar's got anti-stealth mechanics where when he's under stealth, the enemies can't stealth on the character side of the game. So they kind of brought a little bit of that over here as well. And plus, stealth is kind of a powerful thing inside of ships. That's kind of one of the more common things. It's kind of creates quasi-taunting situations. Well, No longer. You can find the characters if you're looking for them. You're going to be gunning them down, dead or alive. Or actually, Dengar doesn't take people alive. He takes them dead. And then while punishing one is active, breach enemies have minus 25% health and protection recovery. Yikes. Remember, everyone's got these like different breach synergies. That's a powerful one right there. Enemies with Deathmark can't recover health protection. And whenever an enemy with Deathmark is defeated, all your bounty hunter allies are going to get 100% defense in one turn and immediately recover 100% protection. And again, although it says cooldown of 9, I think it's going to be a lot faster than that. I mean, especially thinking like the finalizer lineups. You know, they have so many. Almost every fleet has a swarm attack. You know, Executor's got a swarm attack. Profundity's got a swarm attack of sorts. You know, yeah. You know, the Negotiator's got one. You know, Finalizer's got one. Even Home One's got one. Pretty much every, you know, top fleet for the most part has some sort of swarm attack. So it's going to go by pretty quickly. And then the reinforcement, which I don't think this guy's going to be in the reinforcement. It's pretty skimpy. Punishing one, so skip tracers, a reinforcement aim. Punishing one gains defense penetration up for 2 turns. Target enemies inflicted buff immunity for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. I mean, would you rather have this, or would you rather have Dengar starting off? Because at the start of the battle, it's looking to see if Dengar is here with all bounty hunters. So, yeah, I think this is pretty much mandatory. This is going to be a starting unit on the holo table here. So again, what's going to be the ideal lineup here? Is it going to be maybe Razor Crest, Houndstooth, Punishing One? Maybe there's going to be a new triple attacker lineup, or maybe people are going to be doing Xanadu Blood, Razor Crest, Wazel Quest, and, you know, for example, what's the other one? IG 2000 or Xanadu Blood. We got to wait and see. Otherwise, man, everything else, this looks absolutely nuts. Again, I was excited for this ship, but I guess they're delivering. We have had only one other ship this year, which is the Comeuppance, which is fine. I enjoy it. I use it quite often. This is, how do I put it? Remember how excited we were for the TIE Defender? This feels like that, but a little more, because in the context of a GL level capital ship, this is probably going to be a big boost that the Executor's been needing, because right now, it's kind of the biggest punching bag out of the 3 GL capital ships. It's still good, don't get me wrong, but there's about like 3, 4, 5 counters that you have to it now. This is going to shut it down a lot, where it almost feels like, I mean, we'll see if maybe our traditional counters work, but maybe less consistently. Who knows? What if it's going to require like Leviathan to beat this all of a sudden? So Leviathan's off of defense on now, and you're doing it on offense. It almost feels like this is now kind of up to par. It's going to maybe handle Profundities a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see about if it's going to handle Leviathans a little bit better. Otherwise, before we even get into the gameplay, this is shaping up to be pretty good. But you know what? You're just going to have to wait until later on this Thursday when we are going to test out this bad boy that we went over today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Leave your likes. I want to hear your thoughts down below. What do you think about all the stuff that we talked about here today? And, you know, be sure to subscribe and even check out the music channel. A little sample of what the new stuff that we put out today. And more importantly, always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today.